Welcome to this explainer. Today we're diving into a story that is literally a roller coaster of resilience, prejudice, and ultimate triumph. We're starting off in a small village, focusing on a young, innocent girl named Tina. Now, Tina has a darker complexion, and tragically, she lost her parents. So she's stuck living under the roof of her brother, Mohan, and his wife, Rocky. And let me tell you, it's not a warm, fuzzy environment. Tina doesn't fit society's rigid beauty standards, and because of that, she faces a daily barrage of cruel taunts from her sister-in-law. Just imagine waking up every single day, right? You're in your own home, but you're constantly shouted at and reminded of your supposed flaws. It's a really harsh reality, but it perfectly sets the stage for a journey that's going to challenge everything we think we know about a person's true value. So that brings us to a massive philosophical question. Is a person's true identity actually defined by their face? For Tina, this isn't just a thought experiment. It's her daily reality. She's judged purely on how she looks. To give you a perfect example from the story, her sister-in-law is furiously yelling at her one morning. She's telling Tina to hurry up, bathe, and change because, get this, yet another prospective groom's family is coming over to look at her. And the threat hanging over Tina? It's absolutely terrifying. Rocky literally warns her that if this family rejects her, she's out. No place in the house for even a single day. Her entire worth in this family is boiling down to whether a total stranger finds her physically attractive. Wild, right? What's incredibly interesting here is the stark contrast in values. Later that afternoon, the groom's family arrives. Tina brings in the tea tray, hands trembling, and the boy's mother, she just looks her up and down, makes a face, and rejects her on the spot. Why? Simply because her skin is dark. She flat out says they want a beautiful, fair-skinned, smart girl. But hold on. Let's look at Tina's actual qualities. She is incredibly hardworking. She practically runs the entire household single-handedly. Her sister-in-law actually tries to save the whole arrangement by pointing that out, but the boy arrogantly shuts it down. He says they want a beautiful daughter-in-law, not a maid. It really just hits the nail on the head regarding the brutal injustice of her situation. All her immense dedication is completely overshadowed by these totally superficial demands. And well, that leads us directly to the inciting incident. And the emotion here is just intense. The second the boy's family leaves, Rocky's fury completely boils over. She screams, "Pick up your bag and get out of this house. We cannot carry a burden like you anymore." She literally throws a tiny cloth bag with Tina's belongings right out the door. Tina drops to her knees, crying, pleading. She's begging to know what her mistake even was, just asking to speak with her brother. But Rocky coldly tells her that this was her brother Mohan's order all along. She's told to vanish before evening. Just like that, because of a physical trait she has zero control over, she's tossed out on the streets. Now homeless, without any destination, Tina just wanders. Eventually, she collapses on this large rock by a river on the outskirts of the village. The sun is setting, and you can just feel this deeply lonely, heavy atmosphere. She looks up at the sky and completely breaks down. She pleads to the universe. If you gave me this appearance, how is it my fault? Why do people judge me by my face and not my heart? Is there no place for me in this world? It's just a moment of utter, complete despair. The superficiality of the world has, for the moment, entirely crushed this innocent spirit. But, as you probably know, it's exactly in these moments of pitch-black despair that a turning point shows up. Enter our mentor figure. A really kind 60-year-old woman named Amma happens to be walking by with a vegetable basket and spots Tina crying. Amma, who actually has no one else in the world either, walks over with such warmth. She looks at Tina and drops this profound truth. The pain that eyes reveal cannot be hidden. When Tina explains through her tears that she was thrown out just for not being quote-unquote beautiful, Amma offers a completely different metric for human worth. She tells her that a person is known by their values and character, not their face. And in just a beautiful act of pure compassion, Amma takes Tina by the hand and says, "From today on, you're going to live as my daughter." So Tina goes to live with Amma. And the very next morning, we see this incredible entrepreneurial spark. Tina notices a bamboo canopy behind Amma's mud house, and it's heavy with fresh green corellas, bitter gourds. Amma mentions she can't eat them all and half just go to waste. Right then, a brilliant idea strikes. Tina decides to use her culinary magic to remove the bitterness from the gourds, cook them up with their own special spices, and create something completely unheard of, Corella biryani. With Amma cheering her on, they set up a little food stall at the village market. Guys, this is a massive leap, from a rejected homeless girl to an independent creator. Now, the true test is the public reception, right? When Tina first brings out this big steel pot of Kerala biryani to the village square, the reaction is, well, exactly what you'd expect. Pure mockery. The villagers are laughing, asking who on earth makes biryani out of a bitter gourd. But Tina stays totally humble. She politely invites a local farmer to just try it, even offering it for free if he hates it. He takes one spoonful, and his mockery instantly vanishes. He's amazed. He says, "Wow, this is amazing. There's no bitterness at all," and immediately demands a second plate. Her hard work, her literal ability to take something bitter and transform it into something sweet and desirable, pays off right then and there. You know, word of mouth is a powerful thing. Soon, Tina's Kerala biryani is famous across the entire village. And this brings us to a very special visitor. A young man named Arjun rolls in from the city on his motorcycle. He'd heard the strange, unique name of the dish and stopped by out of sheer curiosity. Arjun asks for a plate, takes a bite, and is just completely blown away. He tells Tina it's simply the most wonderful biryani he has ever eaten. Think about that for a second. What started as a desperate attempt to use up wasted vegetables has now captivated a city guy who's probably tasted all kinds of premium food. But what's really vital here is the foundation of a genuine connection. Arjun doesn't just eat and write off. He becomes a regular, a daily customer actually. While the unique biryani drew him in, he stays for the chef. He becomes totally captivated by Tina's simplicity. He deeply admires her honesty and her relentless hard work. This little mini-narrative proves the whole central thesis of our explainer. Arjun is falling in love, not with some superficial, curated image, but with Tina's true character and dedication. He sees exactly the qualities that her sister-in-law and that prospective groom's family completely ignored. This naturally builds to the emotional climax of the whole story. One day, bathed in the soft sunlight near the food stall, Arjun takes Tina's hands and proposes. He tells her plain and simple that he loves her for her heart and her values, not her face. Tina, though, is carrying some really deep scars. She hesitates. Her past traumas bubble up, and she asks him why he'd stay when everyone else rejected her for her dark skin. She's terrified he might leave her too. But Arjun reassures her with this absolutely beautiful sentiment. He says physical beauty fades with time, Tina, but a true heart never grows old. It is the ultimate validation of Tina's worth, coming from someone who truly, genuinely sees her. Let's just step back for a second and look at the magnificent trajectory of Tina's life. We started with a girl who was rendered entirely homeless, rejected by her own blood. But through the kindness of a stranger, she found Alma and a safe haven. Through her own pure ingenuity and hustle, she became famous in her village for a totally unique culinary invention. And finally, after marrying Arjun, he takes both Tina and Alma with him, and together they open this grand restaurant right there in the village, appropriately named Tina's Special Biryani. It is a triumphant, rags-to-riches ascent, driven purely by merit and character. And that brings us to Tina's powerful realization, which is really the moral anchor of this entire explainer. A person's true identity is not from their face, but from their actions and their hard work. What's incredibly inspiring and honestly a bit of poetic justice is that the very same villagers who once mercilessly mocked her appearance, they now point to her as the ultimate example of success. She didn't have to change who she was. She didn't have to change how she looked. She just had to apply her dedication to an environment and eventually to a partner that valued substance over superficiality. So as we wrap up this explainer, I really want to leave you with a lingering question to think about. How do you judge the people around you today? Tina's story is a super vivid reminder that the metrics we use to value the people in our lives can either be shallow and destructive, or they can be deep and empowering. Are we tossing away bitter gourds that can be turned into something extraordinary with just a little care? Look inward and reflect on your own perspectives, because as we've seen, a true heart combined with hard work will absolutely always outlast the superficial. Thanks so much for joining me on this journey, and keep questioning what truly matters.